Hey everyone, it's me, Emily. It's Saturday morning. It's kind of cold out. It's winter solstice today, and I want to work on a project, but I need a low effort project and a low effort video for a change. So I'm going to do something that I've been thinking about for a while. Um, Last year, sometime, I was doing a 3D print. I don't remember what for. And when the print was done and I took it off the printer, I noticed that one of my hairs had fallen onto the print during the middle of the print, and the hair had gotten trapped between two layers. I tried to pull it out and it was very stuck. So I just had to yank it and break the hair off. But that gave me an idea. I thought, maybe it would be fun sometime to deliberately make a hairy print. And a few weeks ago, I cut my hair. I did it myself. And I ended up with a clump of hair left over. And I thought, I should save this.
I should save this.
And maybe it's time to finally do that hairy 3D print. So I ordered myself some flesh color filament, which I've done a test print here. It's kind of skin colored, I guess. Like, I don't know who has skin that color exactly, but it's skin-ish colored. And I have my clump of hair, which I've been saving on my TV stand like a weirdo for weeks. So today I'm gonna make a hairy 3D print with this. Okay, this is my 3D printer. It's a Monoprice Maker Select. I bought this thing as I think at the time they were calling it open box. No, they were calling it factory refurbished at the time I bought it. But these things were not actually refurbished. They were just customer returns, and then they just throw them back in a box. They eventually started calling them open box because the factory was not actually doing anything to repair them. This printer required like 3 weeks of tinkering with it to get it to work right, because there were things like the guide rods weren't locked in, the belts were all screwed up, but this printer works pretty well for me. I mean, it's not the greatest printer, but it does what it needs to. That was the cat. Yeah, I don't know. I spent $199 on it. I made a few minor upgrades, like a Z brace, added an octopi to it. That's about it. It does what it needs to do. For those of you who are familiar with 3D printing, you'll know a little bit about this process. If you're not familiar with 3D printing, like real brief explainer, the printer is melting a long plastic filament, and it squirts it out in a nozzle, and it goes layer by layer. So it squirts a layer out, and then it moves up a little bit, and then squirts another layer on top of that. And by doing that, it builds up your model, layer by layer. I have this hair, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hang around for 7 hours, and I'm gonna place these hairs on the layers as the print head goes over, and hopefully that will trap the hairs between the layers, and hopefully I have enough here to really have a lot of hair sticking out of this print. And yeah, so I guess we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I won't have any problems. These hairs are kind of short, so hopefully I can get my hand in there and get the hair stuck in between the layers without getting in the way of the moving head. Or without burning myself. We'll see. This is an experiment. I've been out here for hours, and honestly, the worst part of this project is that I have to sit here and babysit the thing because my printer doesn't dispense hair, and so I have to put the hair on continuously, which means I've been sitting here putting hair on a 3D printer for 5 hours now. I think I have 3 more hours to go. I would not do this again. This is just awful. But I'm all in right now, and so I'm going to see this through. All right, so it's done. It has some problems, as you can see, but I'm gonna go ahead and peel all this support material off, and we'll take a look and see what we've got. So one big problem this thing had was that I got a lot of layer shifts, and the layer shifts happened because I had to get my fingers in there to place the hair like right in the path of the moving nozzle, and occasionally I would get in the way. Oddly though, I got a really crazy layer shift here on top, which occurred after I was no longer placing hair, because I simply ran out. But yeah, I don't know what happened here. What I want to do first is give it a haircut, because this hair is kind of all over the place, and I think giving a little bit of a haircut will help. This thing feels really weird. It's like, it's hairy, and like you kind of want to pet it almost, but it feels wrong because it's bristly human hair instead of being like a nice soft animal coat. It's definitely strange. Down here I was kind of not like too into it, and I was kind of into it, and then I kind of slacked off, and then I got like really into it right here. I don't know why. I don't know. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and paint these. So let me get my paint brushes. All right, I'm just going to use a little bit of acrylic craft paint for this, because it's what I have on hand. This is a horrible project. This thing is just awful. This thing has just come out terribly. I wish I had a darker red, something that looked a little more like blood than this. But I guess this is okay. I guess this white is supposed to look a little like gristle. I don't quite know. You know, like when you get one of those deep cuts, you've probably had one of these cuts before where like you look down and you're kind of like, oh shit. That's way deeper than I thought it was. And there's like brief second or two, you just see like the pinkish red meat, and you see like the white, those white spots that are like your fat and connective tissue, and it hasn't really started bleeding yet. That's how you know it's a bad one, when you see the white stuff. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. It's a hairy meat cactus, 3D printed. Yay. I have another video coming on this thing, which hopefully I'll get out sooner rather than later. But until then, I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, I love to be an artist. Your hair will smell just like the black licorice. Your flesh like a watermelon, the ways I would prepare it. And your wiener will smell just like a carrot. I love to be an artist.